Your room looks complete, but it doesn't feel complete. I want to show you how to create a sense of connection between rooms so your whole home feels intentional. We're going to cover how to spot any disconnect in your home, simple ways to link spaces visually, why flow matters for both style and function. You've got the furniture, you picked out your lighting, the art, all the layers are there, and yet something still feels not quite right. That's usually not a furniture problem. It's a flow problem. And it can be frustrating because you start thinking maybe you chose the wrong sofa or the wrong rug, when really it's not that at all. Most people think flow means everything has to match. What people actually do is they go and they buy matching wood tones exactly the same with, matching full sets. Everything feels safe. They repeat the same color everywhere to avoid getting it wrong. They hesitate to mix finishes because they're afraid it will clash. That's not random. It's a pattern that I've seen for more than 20 years. Those choices actually flatten your space. True flow comes from connection. When elements in your home feel like they belong together, even if they're not identical, and this is something I walk through more deeply inside Discover Design, my 3D method, Discover, Design, Deliver. This is where we start thinking about how the pieces relate to each other, not just how they look on their own. There's a simple principle that helps with this. And once you start seeing it, you'll notice it everywhere. It's called repetition with variation. And this is one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So what does that actually mean? You're repeating something in a space, a color, a material, or a shape, but you're not repeating it in the exact same way every time. You're letting it show up a little differently, because if you repeat something too perfectly, it starts to feel predictable, even a bit boring. But if everything is completely different, that's when a space starts to feel disconnected or chaotic. So the goal is not perfection, it's balance. It's the middle ground where things feel connected, but still interesting. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a warm brass lamp in your living room. Instead of adding another piece that is the exact same brass, you might bring in a frame across the room that has a similar warmth, but maybe it's a softer finish or slightly aged. So now there's a connection, but it's not copied. Or maybe you have a round coffee table. You might echo that shape somewhere else in the room, like in a mirror or even in the curve of a chair. Different materials, different scale, same idea, repeated. And color is one of the easiest ways to do this. If you have a blue accent chair, you might see that same tone show up in a piece of art, and then again in a throw pillow, but maybe in a deeper, softer shade. This is usually the piece people are missing. They're choosing beautiful items, but those pieces aren't speaking to each other. So here's something really simple you can try. Walk into your space and pick one element. It could be a color, a material, or a shape. And just notice, does it show up anywhere else in the room? And if it doesn't, see if you can bring it in somewhere else, even in a small way. It doesn't have to be a big change. Sometimes it's just a little detail, but that one detail can completely shift how the room feels. And this is where design starts to feel a little easier, because you're not trying to get everything right all at once. You're just creating small connections. And over time, those connections build into something that really feels intentional. This is one of the ways we create harmony inside Discover Design. Flow isn't about rules. It's about making choices that feel right for your space and your lifestyle. And when you start to repeat with variation, your home begins to feel like it's speaking the same language without losing its personality. And when that happens, your home starts to feel calm. It feels settled, like everything just makes sense. So walk into your space and pick one element, a color, a material, or a shape, and see if it appears at least in two other places. If it doesn't, add it in, even with something small. That one detail can transform how the room feels. This is just one of the ways we create harmony, but there's one important piece that can still get in the way, even if you understand flow. If the pieces you're bringing in don't actually work together from the beginning, you can still end up feeling stuck. So in the next video, I'm going to walk you through the #1 mistake that costs people the most time and money in their homes, and of course, how to avoid it completely.